What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about the Xbox dumpster fire because, thankfully, the presidents of Xbox just agreed to do an interview to talk about all sorts of different Microsoft business-related topics, and she was directly asked about the closure of Tango, and she gave literally the worst reply you could possibly imagine. But let's take a look at it and see why people are so upset by this pathetic response. Hi, I hope you're having a great day. If you could, give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm filming this video at 9 p.m. on a Thursday night because apparently I can't stop just staring into the utter abyss of Xbox. But first and foremost, here we go. So, what this is Bloomberg Tech has a bunch of special access to CEOs, to developers, to industry elites that basically sit down because these are a newspaper with a very old school tradition of hardcore, honest interviews. They want to try and get the best replies to the questions that the public has. Sarah Bond just did this, and pretty much everybody is like, why did she even agree to this with the complete chaos the Xbox brand is in? But huge credit to the interviewer, she dropped this bombshell.
I think one of the things that was most upsetting both to Xbox gamers and to employees is that, one of the shuttered studios in particular just created a hit game, did really well on Game Pass in terms of engagement, and won a ton of awards. Shouldn't succeeding in that way ensure the future of a studio?
By the way, perfect way to phrase that, straight up. The fact that she really spells that question out so good at being like, hey, it's not like this was a bad underwater studio with lackluster track history. Straight up, Hi-Fi Rush is not just an award-winning game, it's a baller game. But let's actually hear her response.
One of the things I really love about the games industry is it's a creative art form. And it means that the situation and what success is for each game and studio is also really unique. Like, there's no one size fits all to it for us. And so we look at each studio, each game team, and we look at a whole variety of factors when we're faced with sort of making decisions. And
by the way, props to the development, the fact that she's giving this word salad, horrible response, and they put their profit growth like, hey, here's how big Xbox is. Why are you shutting down studios?
And trade-offs like that. But it all comes back to our long-term commitment to the games we create, the devices we build, the services, and ensuring that we're setting ourselves up to be able to deliver on those promises.
Like, this is just a straight up lie. There's a lot of Xbox lies that we've heard over the course of the last couple weeks, definitely, but this is such a provable lie. She specifically says amongst this soupy response that the point is to make it so they can have more Xbox games and double down on Xbox quality when you're firing an Xbox studio. I want to actually show you a tweet real quick, which is, I replied to this and said, wow, it's so nice that she just straight up dodges the question. But here's something I saw this 3 hours ago. It is insane. This is one of the primary project managers at Tango. Xbox said they're shutting them down because they're not winning enough awards. They want more games that actually get accolades. And so this guy straight up, on the way of clearing out his office, tweeted out all the awards. Like, how much do you need? Like, I love this because I feel like it's justified snark. It's them being like, hey, they're already a big, successful, amazing freaking company. What more do they need to create? Now, this entire interview is terrible. It goes on for 17 very raw minutes. And honestly, I don't know why Jessica Bond agreed to this. The president of Xbox, as well-spoken as she is, throughout the course of this, she pretty much just tries to dance around any actual relevant, important topic. And a lot of people are even straight up replying that this was not a good idea. Like, she's trying to protect her job with that kind of response. While Sarah Bond probably isn't the one to answer this question, this response is word salad. I actually looked at the original tweet. A lot of people are just saying, like, man, Colt Eastwood, he is an Xbox YouTuber. He is a buddy of mine, but he has not really been handling a lot of this news well. And he's like, I don't think they should do interviews. Colt, respectfully, I strongly disagree. I think fans want answers. I think we demand some sort of response besides just this milquetoast, half-done reply. Now, let me just be clear. If you watch this muted, it's very obvious that she is incredibly uncomfortable. Like, not only is she sweating a heck a lot, you can tell the rapid blinking. This is something that happens a lot, not just when you're lying, but when you're completely freaking out. Not to be that guy, but I have read a few books on reading body language and stuff. I don't mean that as a brag. If anything, it probably lowered my IQ points that I'm reading like freaking FBI interrogation manuals in my free time. But what they do is they call it cluster behavior. Like blinking a lot on its own, that doesn't mean anything. Crossing your arms doesn't necessarily mean you have a secret, or trying to lean away from people. That doesn't necessarily mean you're trying to dodge something. But clusters of behavior patterns, that's when you begin to see a relative, provable response emerging. And I think the fact that you can just see her slightly trembling nature, her she is not only probably saying things that she knows are untrue, she is kind of freaking out. And I think that makes sense. It is weird to consider who is actually in control of Xbox. Is it Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft? Is it Phil Spencer? Is it Andrew Greenberg, who's like the guy who does like a lot of the marketing and management stuff? Is it President Sarah Bond? Like, this entire thing is frustrating to me because I do truly believe that Xbox as we know it is just dead. If you actually want some sort of quality or brand assurance or any actual sort of quality from them, you can't get it. No disrespect for Sarah, but her answer does not remotely address any of the good or valid questions presented by Dina. Nothing in the response gives any sort of justification for shutting down Tango. I've been specifically interested in a lot of the English-speaking gamers that live in Japan who have been talking about this, because it's like, okay, even if I wanted to get into Xbox at this point, even if I was interested in exploring the Microsoft history, like say you're a guy in Japan who knows English, who goes, okay, I want to actually play Fable and Gears of War and classic Halo and Forza. Like, even if you sit down and go, okay, I want to go back and truly experience the great Xbox 360 generation of Xbox and stuff like that, these people have no incentive, because truly, if you pay attention to their behavior, Xbox does not care about Japan. They're not even attempting to cater to that demographic at all. That entire part of the world, they've just entirely given up. And the fact that they closed down, they had one Japanese studio and they made a successful game and they immediately closed them. Psychopath behavior. Due to Japanese laws, the sudden layoffs we're seeing in the West are not so common unless there are severe financial struggles. Not sure exactly, but it seems that Tango Gameworks are officially a branch of the American company ZeniMax, meaning they could just shut it down suddenly. It is sad to me that this person nailed it right here. I wish they let them go independent. Microsoft did allow the company Toys for Bob, who made Crash Bandicoot and stuff, they let them go solo. The people Ori worked a lot with Xbox, and now they're making No Rest for the Wicked independently. I am sad that Tango is just dead. It's just not coming back. They've completely deleted it off the surface of the earth, and all we get is this tepid shoulder shrug about, man, that sucks, but it happens. Sarah Bond, you shouldn't have done this interview. If anything, it just aggravates people more. I mean, the fact that you have in your possession, in your Thanos gauntlet of acquisitions, you've got so many studios and they have produced nothing. The most aggravating thing about this entire Xbox dumpster fire is that for years and years and years, we've heard empty promises. The next game is going to be great. The next year, Xbox is going to figure it out. The true exclusives begin. Now the generation is set to start. All of that has come up in smoke. And what do we get from the president herself? Well, a lot of stuff happening. Generic non-answers. But what do you guys think about this? Excuse my late night anger. If you watch this late tonight, I appreciate you guys tuning in, but man, just so bad. Be better. I mean, at this point, you can't. Xbox as a brand is tanked, but be better than this. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.